Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, in today's video, that was actually so hard to do. Oh my goodness. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to be doing a review of Christian books that I have read that have enriched my faith very, very deeply. So without further ado, let's jump into this book review. That rhymed, guys. I'm on fire with the rhymes today. Well, you guys wouldn't know that. That's the only one I think that's in this video, but anyway, let's jump into the video. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 I'm going to be reviewing, so yeah. The first book is Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabeel Qureshi. And if you don't know anything about Nabeel Qureshi, I'm not going to spoil his entire story because this is his entire faith journey and shares a lot of his story. He grew up being a very devout Muslim, and in a devout Muslim family, oftentimes you are taught how to combat specifically Christianity. So his whole life, his whole upbringing, he was taught how to specifically defend against Christianity. And so he would often debate with Christians, have conversations with Christians, even at a very young age, and was just very, very strong in the Islamic faith. You'll see in his story how he goes from seeking Allah to finding Jesus. It has so much evidence for Christianity. In here also just shows the mindset of a person that's in the Islamic faith, of what they're taught and all such things. This book would be really good for people that, one, maybe are Muslim and are looking into Christianity, and just kind of wrestling with that tension there. This is also just a great book for the evangelist that has a heart for people that are in the Islamic faith. I would also say this is a great book just to expand your faith, as again, it's filled with evidence, and it's also filled with critical thinking skills that we should all have when we are studying why we believe what we believe, which many people have said to me, well, Cheyenne, I just have faith. And I think faith is obviously so important. Faith is an essential part of Christianity. But Paul also talks about always be ready to give an account for what you believe or for the hope that you have in Jesus Christ, right? So books like this are a great resource for understanding deeper why you believe what you believe, and also answering some very tenuous questions about Christianity and other faiths. Highly recommend this book. It's my favorite book. I also just love Nabeel Qureshi and his story, and I watched a lot of his videos. Also, for anybody that doesn't know, he passed away in 2018 because of stomach cancer, but the legacy that he's left behind of just being on fire for the gospel and literally laying down oneself to follow Jesus and understanding the cost that it takes to follow Jesus is just beautiful, very inspiring. Highly recommend this book. Again, I audiobooked it. This is actually my husband's copy of the book, which most books that I read / audiobook, I have the physical book and I read with it. But this one I didn't own. I mean, the way that Nabeel read his book on audiobook was just as if I was listening to a podcast. It was so nice, so easy. I think I actually ended up reading it in 3 days. And I think, I'll put a picture somewhere so you'll know for sure, it was a 10-hour read and I did it in 3 days. I was invested, literally invested. Highly recommend this book. So yeah, read this book, get this book. You could probably thrift this book. You could buy it on Amazon. I will be linking it in my Amazon storefront in case you can't find it at a thrift store. I've never found it at a thrift store. The store that we got it is a store called McKay's, and it's cheaper books. Maybe you could try that. But if you want a brand new copy with no markings, then definitely Amazon's going to be a great resource. I will put it in my storefront. This next book I have not actually read fully in its entirety. I've read most of the book, and then my husband also completed the book, and I need to go back and actually finish the last chapters. Every part of this book I've read so far has just been so encouraging. It's called Radical by David Platt, and it genuinely just pushes you in your faith of what it means to live radically for Jesus Christ. Because I think that in today's generation, we look at biblical Christianity as radical, and Christianity is just put your faith in Jesus, live how you want, ask for forgiveness later. And that's just not the Bible. And so this completely separates what it means to go all out for Jesus versus just cultural Christianity. And yeah, very, very incredible book, very pushing in my faith, really made me self-reflect a lot on myself and the things that I prioritize in life. And yeah, just this is a book that I would recommend for pretty much every single person to at least read once in your life. It's not a super long read, it's only 9 chapters. It's really not a super long read. It's going to make you self-reflect on your faith. It's going to make you see what you prioritize in your life versus what you could. So Highly recommend this book. I will be linking every single book that I showcase here on my Amazon storefront, unless they're not on Amazon and I was unaware. This next book is probably a book that not many of you have heard about, but I think it is super impactful. I actually had the privilege and the honor to read it before it actually came out and give my reviews on it, which you'll see inside the book. It's called The Way Home, and it's basically like a modern version of Mere Christianity, just basically lays out the entire gospel, what it means to follow Jesus. It was super easy to read and really encapsulated Christianity as a whole really, really well. And look, my endorsement. I'm going to read what my endorsement was on this book just because I read it, I think 2 years ago now, but I wrote, I rarely encounter a book that so clearly and accurately conveys the good news in such a truthful and attractive way. I highly recommend this book to anyone who wants a refreshing understanding of who God is and the beauty of the gospel. And I wrote that right after reading this book. I just remember walking away from this book feeling really refreshed and having a better understanding of just how beautiful the gospel truly is in a very simple way, because the gospel is simple and we often complicate it, and it doesn't need to be complicated because it's not a complicated gospel. It's a simple truth that transcends time. So highly recommend this book for people that are just trying to better understand the gospel, whether you are a Christian or not a Christian. This is a great resource and a great book that really breaks it down. Okay, this book I thrifted, and one of the books in this 2-volume set I have not read. It's actually the original Mere Christianity, but the book that I want to talk about is Screwtape Letters. Mere Christianity I've heard is really good. I have not gotten to read it yet. I know a lot about the premise of it. That's why I'm able to compare it to this book. My husband's currently reading it as well, so he's kind of talked to me about it, and I plan on reading it one day. I'm not quite there yet, as I have a list of books I'm trying to read right now, and Mere Christianity has not made that list for the rest of this year. However, Screwtape Letters is probably one of my favorite books. What Screwtape Letters is about and why it's such an incredible book is C.S. Lewis, which is this guy on the cover page, which I'm sure you probably guessed. He writes this story about a younger demon getting mentored by an older demon, and it really just kind of gives you the insights of what spiritual warfare is like, and just made me understand deeper the tactics and the tricks that the enemy likes to use against believers, because it illustrates it so well. But also with this book, it's so spiritually heavy that I can't read it all in one setting. I have been reading this book on and off for a few years, of just reading a few chapters and then taking a break, because demonic things are very, very heavy, and a book that so clearly illustrates the demonic and how the enemy moves and works sometimes isn't the easiest to just read in one setting, and I honestly don't recommend you read it in one setting. I recommend you take your time with it because it's very spiritually heavy. But I also believe this is a book that everyone should read, because the enemy is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And this book very clearly and accurately displays what it looks like for the enemy to constantly be tempting us and creating schemes against us. And if we're aware of these schemes, we're way more likely to know how to fight against these schemes by bringing that fight to the Lord. But if you don't recognize something as the enemy, it's hard to bring the battle to the Lord, because you don't know what to bring to the Lord, because you don't know what's going on. And I think this book very clearly helps us understand and recognize the signs that the enemy is tempting or using things against us. So I highly recommend this book. I just recommend it maybe in increments. I mean, pray through it. Maybe it's different per person. For me personally, it was just really, really heavy, and just not a book that I would personally want to read in one setting, but to each his own. Just pray through it. And I highly recommend this book. It gives really, really clear and amazing insight. This next book is probably also one of my favorite books. I would say that Seeking All of Finding Jesus and this book are about tied on them being my favorite. And this book is called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. I love this book. I think this is a book that every single human on the planet should read at least once in their life. And if you don't know anything about Lee Strobel's story, he was a strong atheist and he married an agnostic woman, and one day his wife became a Christian. And when he realized this, he was like, I am not losing my wife to a cult. So he went out to investigate Christianity just like he would any other case, because he is an investigative journalist. So without giving too much away, he basically put Jesus on trial and went through all the evidence of Christianity of, did Jesus truly live on this earth die and raise from the grave. I think this book is a fantastic resource to people that are maybe questioning whether or not Christianity is true, to the skeptic, to people trying to see how much evidence there really is for Christianity, if it's something that's even worth their time, but also to the Christian that's just trying to better understand why they believe what they believe and gain more confidence in their faith. After reading this book, like, you know how, like, full transparency, you know how you have that fear of death, like, even as a Christian, like, it's like, yeah, I know that when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. Like, I've put my faith in Jesus. But, like, to be honest, I don't know if this is a universal thing. I would still be kind of nervous about the idea of death. I'd be like, I am scared because it's like I know, but I don't know, but like I know. And it would just be this wrestle inside of me that I would experience every time I thought about it. And confidently, I can say, when I got done reading this book just a few months ago, or maybe even a month ago, I don't have that fear anymore. Like, analyzing the biblical text in which we have of that evidence, and also outside sources that are just historical facts that we have and evidence and writings from people in that time, and just seeing it all laid out, all this evidence of Jesus and whether or not he really lived, died, and rose from the grave, really impacted my faith and trust in Jesus. And so to anyone that's maybe questioned their faith, or they're wrestling in their faith of Jesus, like, are you there? Do you hear me? All these things. This is a fantastic book. For atheists that are just not really for Christianity, I just recommend that you read this book, because if you really are going to bet eternity on something, I want you to know that you know that you know that you're right. And I think it's a very dangerous game to say, oh, there is no God, if you're not even willing to look at the research. And I'm not saying only look at this book, look at other resources for sure. I just think this is a really great resource, because this was intended to disprove Christianity, and it ended up being a book full of evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So I highly recommend this book to all people across the world of all different faiths. If you're in a different faith and you're just wondering what evidence there is for Christianity, great book. This is just honestly a great starter book to understanding why we believe what we believe and what facts we have to support our faith. I highly recommend this book. This next book is called Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland, and this book has helped me understand the heart of Jesus Christ so much. I actually have not fully finished this book. However, what I have read so far has just been completely transformative in my life towards the Lord. Having a deep dive understanding of what it meant when Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest, for I am gentle and lowly at heart," has been completely transformative in my faith, of just understanding the God in which I serve. It's helped me have more grace for myself. It's helped me have more grace for others. It's helped me trust that when I mess up, the Lord isn't waiting to like yell at me, but instead he is extending his hand to pick me back up, get me back on my feet, and continue running this race. If you are struggling with understanding the heart of God, maybe from trauma, past experiences in your life, or a parental figure misrepresenting who God is, I highly recommend this book, because it literally deep dives the only time that Jesus ever explained the depths of his heart and who he is. He said, "I am gentle and lowly at heart." And this book dissects exactly what that means, so that we can accurately understand the God that we serve, his grace and mercy and his care towards us. Highly recommend this book. And lastly, I want to showcase the very first Christian book I ever finished, and it is called Crazy Love by Francis Chan. I think this is a book that would benefit anybody. This book goes into detail about the vastness of God and how he's so beyond comprehension, and how he's so intentional with his creation, and just how much he loves us. If you're struggling with understanding the love of God and just who you serve, this is also a fantastic resource to understanding that God is love, and what exactly does that mean. I think in our culture, we get confused about what true and authentic real love is. There's many phrases like love is love, or love is this, or love is that. This explains what is love, who is love, and that is God. God is love, and what does true love genuinely look like? This book dissects it very, very well, and just gives you a broader understanding of the God in which you serve, and his intentionality in creating you just the way he did. If you've ever wrestled with, one, understanding who God is and why he loves you, but also understanding maybe the intentionality God had behind designing you, I think this is a great resource and a great book that just really helps you understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were designed on purpose for a purpose, and the God that created you loves you so deeply. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I pray that all of these books help you so much as they have helped me in just expanding my faith and understanding better the God in which I serve and being more confident in why I believe what I believe. I think it's essential that every single person should understand the reason why they have chosen to put their faith in a specific thing. Whether your faith is in something other than Jesus or Jesus, you should know exactly why you believe what you believe, because otherwise, why are you believing it? And I can confidently say, after studying and researching Christianity, I know exactly why I've chosen Christianity above any other faith or any other belief. There is so much evidence for the God in which we serve, Jesus Christ, our Lord. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I just implore you to spend time with God, get in the Word, get in a Christian book, spend time talking to the God that created you and designed you. And yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed day. God bless you. Oh, and then also at the end of my little outro, there's a fun video of Alan and I. So God bless you guys. Bye. Alan's throwing a temper tantrum. You want to say hi then? Oh, come here. Oh, you're gonna sit on my lap. Oh my goodness.
There's no other space. You got books over here.
You could have moved the books. What do you want for Christmas?
These books would be great.
One of them's
It's
yours.
such a great selection of books.
This one's his. I audiobooked it. So I didn't actually have the book. Some of them I do though. Most of them I do.
Yeah, I know, but you have such a great selection of books here that you're about to recommend. I would love all of them.
You have them.
Okay.
You own all of them
we
except
can
for this
start
one.
over.
Why?
Hello. Hi, guys. I'm the husband of the lovely Cheyenne Ewing.
And he's sitting on me, which I'm not deleting what you just did. I'm not deleting that.
She left me no space here, so I had to sit on her.
Oh, I wanted to show off these. I can't reach.
Oh, honey, it's such a shame you can't
Alan
reach.
bought me these flowers.
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my commentaries and go.
I can only imagine, like, this is getting muffled. Yeah.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Look.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Alright, I gotta go grab my commentaries.
Yeah, he's sermon prepping. I just licked your thumb. How do you feel?
You just licked your hair. How do you feel about that?
Okay, I love you.
Gotta go.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Lee Stroke.